We are live for the NAVSCAR Pro Series race number 4 from Phoenix International Raceway. Tonight I'm joined in the booth with my good friend Jamie Christensen. Dustin Phillips is out traveling the world, so he's not here tonight. But Jamie, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, not too bad. Excited to be here in Phoenix. Got some hot temperatures for the race during the day here, so I think it's going to bring out some of the best driving we've seen so far.
Yeah, we got some hot temperatures. We got a slippery track. We got some rubber laid down, and we got a dog leg, man. That's one of the things about Phoenix I love. It's unlike any other track on the circuit.
Yeah, you know, you see a lot of different drivers using that dog leg. Some to their advantage, some to a disadvantage, especially with these warmer temperatures. It makes it a little bit more difficult to navigate your way down there. I think the keys to success here today, honestly, is really going to be staying off the gas, if that makes sense. I've seen these drivers put it to the floor, and the next thing you know, they're spinning around. It's going to be about maintaining the gas and the brake at the same time.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's going to be about tire management. It's going to be about being consistent. You can go out there and burn a pretty quick lap in lap 1 or 2, but man, your tires, they fall off pretty fast. So guys are going to have to learn real quick how to be conservative to be there at the end.
Yeah, I would agree. You know, and we are seeing a little bit slower times around the track. You just from a historical standpoint, I went back and checked the logs so far for the Pro Series, and went back to late 2015. And John Frisching Jr. is actually, he had the fastest track time here at Phoenix, and of course that was a night race, but he ran a 25.963. We're seeing a little bit faster time, or slower times than that today, so about anywhere from 2 to 3 seconds slower.
Yeah, I've got the fastest time right now. James Skelton is got a lap that was 28.097. That's good enough right now for the pole. Nelson Rivera second, John Frisching Jr. Still pretty quick in third place. He was talking during practice, really uncomfortable in this car. He's not thinking he's going to start out front. He's not thinking he might even finish this race. He's really worried about it, but I think after a couple laps, he'll get into his rhythm, and I'm sure we'll see him battling for a top 5, top 10 finish as we get down to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen you had mentioned James Skelton. He's got that fastest time right now, and I know the DPM guys were putting in a lot of seat time this week, getting ready and preparing for this race, because they had heard that obviously it was going to be a day race, and the track conditions are definitely not what they're used to running the majority of the time.
Yep, no, us going to that full simulation style season, we're running different track conditions with every race, so it's always based on what the local weather is like, what the local time of the race is like. So it's a really hot track. We're mid-afternoon, so the sun's overhead, and it's Phoenix, man, so that track temperature is going to be hot. We've seen about 2.5 hours of practice, so you can already see the rubber laid down as we got a car just sliding out of turn 4 there. But it's going to be a fight the entire race.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those things that you can either drift around here, literally, with your car for a couple laps, but it's going to be about tire management. It's going to be about maintaining that car and hitting your marks. And some of these guys that didn't get enough seat time in during the week, I think we're going to see that show very quickly, probably within the first 5 laps or so. It's real easy to take that to dive into these corners and find all of a sudden that your car is drifting up when you didn't expect it to. So you're going to have to back those corners up. You're going to have to take some different angles, and you're just going to have to find your marks out there out on the track.
Yeah, I know. You talk to it, man. It's really going to be about experience, and the way we have set up the league this year is, we're kind of matching the iRacing official races. So you can jump into an iRacing official race, not this week because it's an off week, but you can jump in an official race and be pretty much what we're going to run every Wednesday. So the guys that get the most seat time, the guys that take advantage of those extra long practices and get comfortable, those guys are going to rise to the top.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one. It's interesting too as I'm watching these guys qualify, just to see who's kind of really running that fastest time. And we talk about it week in, week out. With where do you want to start? Do you want to start in the front? Do you want to start in the back and make your way through the field after some of these guys maybe crash out or get into an incident? I think I still would want to be up front. I don't think going and being in the back is necessarily a bad decision at a track like this. I think we're going to see some cautions, honestly. And if you can, have the stamina to kind of wait it out, I think you're going to be rewarded in the end.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. I definitely think this is going to be a caution heavy race. So starting out front is going to be a benefit, and trying to gap those guys and stay away from the trouble. It's definitely a good place to be. Let's take a look at the Battle of the Booth standings for our last 3 weeks. Right now, buddy, you are out in front, 114 points. Hey, I got you in my sights, man, 99 points. And Dustin had a rough couple weeks, sitting 69th. So let's go ahead and make our choices for the week. Dustin has first pick, and even though he's not here with us, he has picked the 28 of Calvin Allison. That's a smart pick. He's currently in third place, and he's coming off 2 wins in a row. So never somebody you want to count out. So a good pick by him. Who are you going with? Actually, yeah, I did win last week. So who are you going with this week, buddy?
I think I'm going to go with. I think I'm going to go with Nelson Rivera. Honestly, I think he's shown consistently that he can get his car around the track in a quick manner. I mean, he's a great driver. I mean, he's constantly up top there, and I think I'm going to go with Nelson this evening.
Yeah, good pick right now. He's sitting in 5th place. I think that's an awesome pick. I'd like to see what he's going to do here in that number 7 car. My pick for this week, I'm going to go with the 919 of Sean Butler, and I'll tell you why. And he's been strong in our sister league over at Red Light for the last couple of years. Man, he's been super strong, and these first 3 races he's not done as well as he would have liked to have done, and I'm thinking he's due. So I'm gonna go with the 919 of Sean Butler this week.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I mean, he was actually going to be the one that I was going to go with. I was thinking about it, but I've got this sneaking suspicion that we're going to see a little bit more of the same this week. To be honest with you, I'm even going to go out as far on a limb to say that we're going to see the leaders up front get involved with accidents as they get into lap traffic.
Yeah, you can't rule that out, right? These guys, especially the top 10 crowd. Those guys race pretty hard, and they don't give an inch, and that does absolutely breed incidents. So I wouldn't call it any intentional wrecking. Nobody wants to take themselves out when they're wrecking somebody else, but it definitely um, creates more opportunities for fender bending and cars spinning out. So you're right. I think Sean's got to keep his nose clean. That's been the problem the last couple weeks, and he'll be, if he's got a nice clean car at the end of the race, man. He's going to be challenging for the win. As qualifying just finishes up, let's go ahead and watch these cars as they park it, and then they're going to go ahead and grid up. James Skelton does defend that time, 28.097. Second place, Jason Wells. Good to see him on the front row. He's looking at a 28.206.
Yeah, some real good times by those guys. I'm actually looking for somebody here real quick. I wanted to see where um, Jack Walls, if he made it tonight. Looks like I don't believe he made it to tonight's race.
Yeah, I don't see him either. Let's go ahead and run the grid. First place, like I said, 86, James Skelton. Second place, Jason Wells in the 946. 28 of Calvin Ellison and 919 of Sean Butler on row number 2. Nelson Revere and Daniel Vaglin, row number 3. DJ Anderson and John Fershing Jr., row number 4. Good to see John. He wasn't too happy with his setup, like I was saying earlier, starting on 4th row. Joshua Buckley and Keith Haney in row number 5. Row number 6, we got Mike Abbott and Mitchell Muma. Row number 7, we've got William Long and the 00 of Brian Wynn. Row number 8, 14 of Timothy Lewis and the 977 of Scott Kidd. Row number 9, we've got Jeff File and the 946 of Mark Bratcher. Row number 10, we've got Kevin J. O'Brien and Jeff Sharp. Row number 11, we got the 4 of Ricky Goodman and the 04 of Jordan Beck. Row number 12, we've got Tommy Amasi in the 901 and Corey Warren in the 999. Row 13, Brent Rogers in the 8, Chris Sharp in the 24. Row 14, we got Bruce Potter and Randy McCanney. Row number 15, Dale Albright and Jason Garrett. Row 17, Butch Frazier and the 72 of Raymond Edge. Row number 17, we got David Howard Jr. and 81 of Nate LaFleur. And row 18, we've got Daniel Haney. 35 cars on the field tonight, so it should be a pretty strong field. We've been pretty good the last couple weeks. Good to see that these cars are continuing to come out week after week, as these guys are going to get rolling here any minute. Looks like we're waiting on one last car.
Yeah, real good showing, Mike. I mean, it's good to see these drivers out here week after week. And I think it makes good racing no matter what some of these guys, maybe the cream of the crop, so to speak. Some of these guys are still cutting their teeth a little bit, still at that Pro Series level, but just need to refine some stuff. And they find good racing no matter where they're at out on the track. I mean, whether you're in first or you're fighting for 19th, you've got your hands full. Let's put it that way.
All right, first race at Phoenix. About to get going here as we take the green flag.
It's going to be real interesting coming into this first corner.
Never get used to seeing those cars drop down for the dogleg, but we did talk about it in the meeting. Got to be real careful. Those cars are going to get real upset as we cross the transition off the banking. But it's completely legal to drop down and run that shoulder, as looks like James is going to come by in first place to take that first lap.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of those things too where, we expected plenty of traction lap 1, and it is going to drop pretty consistently at lap after lap here. So looks like everybody's taking it easy, and that's good to see. Everybody's just kind of get the feel of the car, especially with the other cars around them. So real good racing right up front here.
Yeah, we got a nice group going third on back. Bunch of cars battling for position here as Sean Butler is looking to get by the 28 of Calvin Allison, but right now everyone's just happy to be in line.
Yeah, that's going to make for some good racing. There was it looks like we got a caution out here real quick.
And that didn't take long. Lap 3 brings out the first caution. Did we see what brought that out?
No, I'm searching for it now. It looks like the 82 of Mike Abbott was involved, and the 555 of Butch Frazier. So
Yeah,
not really sure what caused it.
We do got a bunch of cars slow in the backstretch. Let's take a look.
Ooh, it looks like Josh Buckley, Mike Abbott get into each other there, and cause the wreck.
Yeah, Josh Buckley bounces it off the outside wall, comes back inside into the 82. That's just a product of racing really hard. Josh just bounces off that wall, and Mike Abbott is just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Has that car come down on him.
Yeah, which is really unfortunate, because I think if I heard right, just on pit road there, Abbott's done a really good job of securing that sponsor with Bunny's Vapor Lounge. We talked about him last week. they've come on board. Looks like for a couple races now, and it's pretty unfortunate to see a couple laps in that car involved in an incident.
Yeah, I don't think it's the last time we'll see Mike on TV here. He'll get that car fixed up and get back up to the front as quick as he can.
I'm not seeing a whole lot of damage on his car, though, to be quite honest with you.
Neither am I, but I think he'll probably bang on it here and let the guys fix it and see how it handles as he gets back out there.
Yeah, I've just taken a peek in his in-car camera there. It looks like he's got a little wrinkle on the hood. I don't think it's too bad, so I think that's something they can hammer down. Plus, I don't correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but I don't necessarily know that you need a whole lot of aero here.
No, you definitely don't. You probably want as much downforce as you can get. So
It might actually help him.
yeah, it might. You never know. You bang out a fender and it just adds that little bit of downforce. It might not do you too much damage. So he'll get back out there. I've seen cars in much worse shape here. As he's smart, he's stopped at the end of that pit road. Didn't get out in front of the pace car, unfortunately. So that's going to put him at least one lap down.
Yeah, and he definitely didn't use his quick repair, so he's definitely wanting to save it. But I don't think that, honestly, I don't think the damage is significant enough to keep him out of it. In fact, I think he'll be pretty competitive, even just running back to mid field here. So. I'm kind of interested because I think right in front of Mike Abbott is Calvin Allison, is he not? Looks like Calvin's gone down 14 spots.
I'm taking a look right now here.
Yeah, I think Calvin didn't like what he was seeing up there, and maybe wants to just ride around here, put the laps in, log the laps. If he does win tonight, you do realize, Mike, he will be a 3-time in a row winner here in the series.
Yeah, I think that would be the first time we would have seen a 3 in a row here, as these guys are getting double file. We talked about restarts in our driver meeting and how we want these guys in line. And that first lap is tough because you get off the pit lane and you go around and you're taking the green, so there's not much time to file in, but these guys are doing their best job right now. Everyone's getting tight up. I like seeing that. We'll see how the restart goes here, as these guys are going to take their second green flag of the race on lap 8.
Yeah, still kind of accordioning a little bit there in the back. That's kind of to be expected, but the guys up front are definitely holding it tight. Ooh, looks like James kind of spun his tires there. We've seen Sean Butler kind of just get right on the back bumper on him and had to look like he came off the throttle a little bit just to stay off of him.
You can see here Sean comes down off the apron. You can see the transition riding on board with him right there. It's a bumpy transition coming off that apron. It looks like... do we have another caution?
No?
Nope.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. To me, honestly, it's a little bit of a gamble. I know it throws me off my marks when it happens right in front of me because right now we've seen Sean stay low, but I've also seen guys just come way out into the right hand side, and we do have a caution out. Looks like maybe Scott Kidd was involved there.
All right, let's take a look here. We've got the 946 of Mark Bratcher, I believe was turned around there. The 977. Yeah, the 977 there just turned him around, got a little hard into that corner, didn't check up enough, and and the Nate's just run into Mark. That's unfortunate. You got to get woed up there. It's tough to do, but yeah, let's see if we can ride on board.
I believe Brent Cowboy Rogers was just caught the tail end of that as well. So.
The 977 of Scott Kidd running on board right now. Gets hard on the brakes there, but Yeah, just not hard enough, and gets into Mark there and turns him around.
Yeah, in fact, I think Rogers is missing a hood, to be quite honest with you.
See if we can see what happens to the 8 car there. But yeah, he's right behind it. And yeah, he's on the gas, and yeah, he's got nowhere to go. Puts it into that water barrier on the inside.
Yeah, and he's running with no hood right now. I'd actually kind of just leave the hood off.
Yeah, I would put, let them bang it up, let them do some work on it and see how it handles.
Well, it's kind of interesting. I just don't see any other damage to that car. Oh, well,
He already
disregard
used his
it.
quick repair.
Well, the engine just let go too.
Oh, did
so,
it?
Yeah.
He has already used his quick repair and he's back out on the track.
Yeah, he lost it coming into pit road there. So, I mean, perfect timing for him. But, yeah, that wasn't coming back, I guess.
Yeah, you don't really want to see, as a driver, you don't want to be using your quick repair on lap 12. That's a tough thing to deal with this early in the race. 156 laps we got to run, and we're turning lap 12 again here under caution.
Yeah, and how about that 917, honestly? Biggest mover on the track right now, David Howard Jr., up 20 positions up to the 13th spot. So I'm interested to see what he's got for him. We've talked about him the last couple weeks. I know tracks like Atlanta are definitely in his wheelhouse. I think, I raced with him the other night on Monday night at the same track. It was under cooler temperatures. And, he had a really good car. I think, the X factor for him and all these other drivers are, can you, and like we just seen with Brent Rogers, can you stay out of somebody else's incident?
Yeah, and he's got some rear end damage there. He was definitely running to the back of. Again, that rear end damage might not pose too much of a problem, but yeah, that's really about what tonight's race is. That's why we talked about it early. You want to start up front. You want to keep yourself away from all the madness, and we kind of expected that here. This is a tough track, and we got a lot of guys that, I don't want to call them inexperienced, but just a lot of guys that probably don't run as much as it was required to get comfortable here, as we're going to be going back to green here on this lap. Sean Butler's starting on the outside by James Skelton. Should be pretty... These guys are going to give each other room here. I think these guys definitely have a lot of respect for each other, so I don't think we'll see too much fighting going into turn 1.
I actually disagree. I think they're going to duke it out, honestly. I really do, because Sean had to check up for James the last time because James spun his tires. And I think Sean wants that lead. He doesn't want anyone near him, and he does. He goes in hard, stays off of him, gives him plenty of room, but he went in there and he's looking for P1. And he's got it right now, just going into the dog leg.
Yeah, James uses that dog leg, but you're right. Sean Butler was able to power around the outside of that dog leg, and it takes that first place. This is where Sean wants to be right now. He wants to get that clean air. He wants to hit his own lines and work on, building some consistent lap times here, and maybe put a gap against that second place. It's really where he needs to be right now until the field spreads out and he has to worry about lap traffic. But right now, definitely smart game plan, lap 15.
I think it's interesting too. Just looking back in the field, we see a lot of guys in these corners drifting to the wall, honestly, and it's causing a little bit of a chain reaction back there. But we got another caution out, I believe. Yeah, it looks like they're still wrecking on the backstretch. We got looks like Corey Wharton involved, Butch Frazier again. But I don't think it started with them, honestly. I think it happened in front of them. Looks like the 901 of Tommy Mays got around. I just don't know if he got any help.
Oh yeah, another under braking incident there. 26 just gets in the corner a little bit hot there. Let's ride on board with the 26.
Yeah, that was that had a lot of cars involved. You know, Brent Rogers involved again. You know, right now he's just probably kicking that pedal as hard as he can, just in the frustration of just not being able to stay out of other people's stuff.
You can see her here entering that dog leg turn. He's going to get a good run. Yeah, gets off the gas there, gets on going into turn 3, and that was all she wrote there.
So I have to ask the question. It's kind of like one of those things that you want to if you're one of those guys involved in the incident, you almost want to scream out, "Don't overdrive your car." It's if you want to take yourself out, take yourself out, but don't overdrive your car, and especially when you got somebody in front of you. Now Tommy didn't try to do that on purpose, and I'm not trying to imply that he did. I'm just, it's hot temperatures here at Phoenix usually bring out hot tempers.
Yeah, I agree. Dale just ran it too hard, but you're right. It's talking about how we shouldn't be overdriving those corners, but it's easy for us to say, hey guys, don't drive those corners. We're not in the car, we're watching, but it's a lot harder not to do that when you're trying to make some positions, and make some magic happen.
Yeah, I hear you, Mike. I'm sitting in my comfy chair right now calling this race, so I'm just going by what the camera view is showing me, but it's just it runs through their mind every time that happens, or when it happens to you, because you're just like, oh man, I was hitting my marks, and I was getting in that sequence, that rhythm that I was looking for, and then all of a sudden, wham, somebody just, next thing you know, you're around and you don't even know how you got there.
Yeah, especially when you're the guy that's like backing up your corners, you know what I mean? You're trying to take it easy, you're trying to make your laps consistent, and then someone runs into the back of you. So it's frustrating for everybody involved, especially if you weren't actually, the last 2 accidents we've really been caused by, well, the first one was someone ran into a wall, and that happens. And then the next 2 were just running hard into the corner and running into the back of someone in front of you. But both of those collected more than just the 2 cars involved in the incident. So you got to feel bad for those guys. It's frustrating for everybody, and I'm sure, at least I hope, these guys are going to get figured out, and we're going to get some green flag laps as we go back to green here at lap 20.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And if Dustin was here, our colleague in crime, I'd give him a hard time by telling him, well, if Dustin was behind me, I would expect that. But
yeah, right. He's not watching. He might be watching.
Well, if he's watching, I hope he throws a comment up there in the chat room and let me know. All right, so we got quite a few cars out there with damage, but like I said, I don't know how big of a factor it's going to be as we go green.
All right, back to green. Calvin makes a good move after the green flag comes out there. Is able to push by and gain a position. Two cars, Joshua Buckley definitely using that dogleg to his advantage, as the 28 is still on the inside of the 951 here, racing pretty hard of the 951 of DJ Anderson. Looks like Calvin might be able to get the position as he gets off here, as he does.
Yeah, and honestly, we got some pretty big movers after this last one. Chris Sharp being one of them. We haven't talked about him a lot, but Raymond Edge, he was up 20, just lost that position, and we got another caution out. Looks like another big one coming out of turn 1 there. Got several cars involved. Looks like Ricky Goodman's in it.
Yeah, looks like it was a 3-car incident there. Let's take a look. So I believe that is the 946 of Mark Bratcher. just runs into the back of the 921 there. Just trying to figure out where he's going to go, but hits him under braking. The 921 then runs into the 8 car. Um, yeah.
At 8 car, boy, you can't. You just gotta wonder what's going through his mind right now. Is he just pretty much backed that car right into the wall?
Oh, I don't have to wonder what's going through Cowboy's mind. I definitely know.
Yeah, probably not repeatable in the broadcast, but yeah. Yeah, that was a pretty bad chain reaction there as they collect each other.
Can you do me a favor? Just I don't know how long you've been in the session, but can you just save a replay for me in case we lose it? I don't want to lose it.
Yeah, went ahead and did that. So
Thank you, sir. I'm gonna be reviewing restarts till midnight tonight.
yeah, it's one of those things too, and again, it's easy for me to say it in the booth, but you kind of hope to see that these guys just take it easy for a few laps. If they could get the cars spread out a little bit and not run on top of each other, I think we'd see some more green flag racing here. But we've got these cars bunched up, and we got a bunch of you've heard the it mentioned before, trying to tell a driver to go slow or just to take it easy really isn't the easiest thing to tell them or to for them to do. So,
Yeah,
but
it definitely seems counterproductive. But the term "slow is fast" is it's a legitimate term, and for
you
sure,
nailed it.
yeah, it's tough to do. If anyone's seen Days of Thunder, driving fast seems like you're always doing the right thing, but being slow and cautious and keeping your tires good is definitely beneficial. As I just noticed, we got 4 cars in the front. 1, 2, 3, 4 have not yet pit. Everybody else has pit behind them. So, what do you think on that?
Uh, you know, I think they are not putting any real wear on these tires. To be quite honest with you, I don't think it's going to affect him too much, and maybe that's their strategy and kind of just playing on that. But um, with that being said, I look at our top three, and James Skelton has actually got the fastest lap out on the track for all the laps that we put in so far. So it's not like they're going slow up there, but I don't think they've had the enough time on the track to wear him down enough.
So, Sean Buckler is now elected to take that inside line. He was able to use that outside line to his advantage last time. What do you think about him taking the inside line?
I just don't. I don't think it matters where he starts. Honestly, I honestly believe he's going to drive aggressively to get out in front. The only thing by doing so, the only thing he's got to worry about is the guy behind him getting into him, at least initially, before has to start dealing with lap traffic. So I think he's going to drive aggressive, and I think whether it's Nelson or James, I think he's got enough trust in them to stay off his back bumper and race him clean, and this early in the race. And so I think we're just going to see him just punch it when the green flag drops here.
And he does. He punches it, gets a little bit of a car length, half a car length lead going into turn 1. 7's going to run pretty hard on the inside of James there. James is going to be able to use that outside line to his advantage, maybe get a bit of a run, but the 7 is going to use that dog leg.
Oh, and we got him wrecking, and the 84 and 81 are into each other. Nate LaFleur and looks like Kevin O'Brien there. Just Kevin O'Brien just gets loose with that car and comes down onto the 81 in the dog leg, and just kind of pretty much takes him out as the 81's now smoking pretty good. It'll be interesting to see how long his car is able to hold out here. But you know what, Mike? The 8 was not involved.
Hey!
I just want to call that out.
Yet.
Yet.
we're still on the track. So yeah, you can see we're riding on board right now with Kevin. Yeah, gets into the wall real hard there. Not really sure. Not really sure why. Yeah, he just, man, just drove it into the wall. Watch it one more time. What happens? It looks like he's going to try and make a move. Like he switches gears there. It looks like he's going to try and make a move on the outside, where probably not the smartest decision to do. And yeah, just a little too much gas there. Car tightens up and bounces it off the wall. That's a blown engine, so if he doesn't have a quick repair, that's going to be the end of his day, but he may have one. Oh, maybe not. He's still rolling.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I was just went on board myself to just listen to that throttle control with Kevin, and he definitely got into the gas. He was had a full steam of speed there going into the corner, but I think that I honestly it just seemed like the wall kind of jumped out on him, and he was in traffic and just found himself on the wall. So unfortunate incident, but we'll get back under green here in a second.
Yeah, you know, you see an opportunity where you think you can drive around somebody because you got such that, you know, you got that head of steam, but you got to be aware that there's a wall coming up on you, especially exiting that dog leg, or I think he was exiting the dog leg. I forget where it happened on the track. So at what point, you know, we're on our fifth caution, I guess here, you know, with 29 laps. So if I do the math, we've probably run about 10 laps of green flag. You know, as a driver who's up front right now, when do you start getting frustrated?
You know, I think the good drivers are going to try to block it out of their mind, and you know, not let that weigh on them or change the way that they're going to drive their race. You know, I think I think what I would do is try to use the time to strategize my fuel and what I'm going to do there. And I noticed we've seen Sean Butler drop way back in the field now. Looks like he's come in and made some adjustments as we see him back there. What place is he in? 16th.
Yeah.
So he's definitely got a fuel strategy going on here.
Yeah, he's, you know, at some point everybody else's pit, you're going to come in and get some tires. The first two guys still have not pit, but you know, 16th position is not where I want to be right now. I'll tell you that right.
I honestly, if I'm Sean Butler, so I've said he's going to punch it. He's going to be aggressive. I think now that he's in the back, I'm hoping he doesn't get overly aggressive or want to go through that field, because he obviously has been up front and hasn't been able to see all of the chaos on the back. He might want to just lay back a little bit, let it happen in front of him, and then find himself back up in the top 10.
Yeah,
we're back under green.
We got a car spin their tires as Calvin's able to pass two as a car spins their tires.
Yeah, Calvin's definitely making some moves up there.
Joshua Buckley in the two car is up to third place.
Yeah, real good recovery there after that incident earlier in the race. Definitely making his way up there. It looks like guys are driving a little bit more gingerly than we've seen up to this point, which is a good thing. I think just trying to get spread out, like I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, I think once these guys get single file and they kind of worry about their own deal and get into a rhythm, at least for the first or the next 10 or so laps, I think we'd be good. But they got to get into that rhythm first. We can't, you know, running two green flag laps and then getting into a caution doesn't do anything for you. It just gets you frustrated, and yeah, as you watch the laps kind of click down.
Yeah, almost 3 wide back there with Sean Butler. I'm just in the car with him, just kind of watching it. One of the things that I'm noticing riding around with Sean is that he's definitely taking it easy. He's running that low line, but he's actually running into a problem where cars are have different lines than he does, and it actually comes down in front of him, which is making him check up a little bit. And I think he's not alone in that regard. Everybody's running a little bit different line out here, trying to find where the traction is, where they're the fastest out on the track.
Yeah, and as we see him drop down onto that dog leg, if you got a car just on the right side, front right side of your nose as you enter the dog leg, you're worried that they're going to just decide to take the dog leg and totally just come across your nose. So I think that kind of forces him to take that line. And you can just see, watch as he comes and takes that dog leg. If he does it again here, as he's got a car on the outside, he probably will. But how jarring the transition is. As up in the wall, he's not going to come all the way down. He's just going to go over that yellow line. So that kind of minimizes that jar. But when you take that full dog leg, it can look pretty painful.
Yeah, and he's really just letting the race kind of unfold in front of him here, just taking his time. It doesn't seem like he's being too aggressive. I mean, he is finding himself up here in traffic now, but it's good to see him kind of just not just Sean, but drivers in general just kind of relax and just put some green flag laps in.
David Howard Jr. right now in the 917 Oreo car, sitting in 8th place. As Sean just kind of goes by him there, it might have been a little bit of a teammate letting him by there.
Yeah, and there's no reason to hold him up if he's faster or he wants to get by. I think now that Sean's kind of made his way up through the majority of the field, he's going to have to deal with guys that aren't necessarily going to be too happy about letting him get by.
Oh yeah, I agree. There's definitely some rivalries going on between some of these, these teams, some of these strong cars that have, I don't want to say dominant, but have been used to winning in their respective leagues. These guys get next to each other and, sparks fly, so to speak.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's, we kind of refer to it as kind of being, having a magnet. You see these guys get next to each other. Next thing you know, they find each other out on the track, whether they've, intentionally or unintentionally, which we assume best intent. But, it happens. They think it's their nemesis or that brings out the best driving in them. And as a result, sometimes we see a little contact.
Yeah, I think that's more of I don't know if it's like a mind games or I think drivers let themselves get carried away with, what they think is personally being directed at them, and it's definitely part of racing, man. It's definitely something that you got to deal with, in the real world as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of reminds me of the UFC fights, and as we got to caution out.
I see Mike Abbott smoking. Let's see if we can take a look.
Yeah, he's smoking quite a bit there. Looks like he did that one on his own. Just kind of got loose coming out of 3 and just put it around into the wall.
Yeah, you can hear him on the gas. He's just sliding through it, trying to power through it. But yeah, that car was, a little bit damaged before hitting that inside wall, and now that engine's toast. So if he doesn't have a quick repair, I think that's going to be his race. But he might have saved all that.
I believe he did. I'm pretty sure he saved it after the last couple of incidents. Remember, we were talking. We felt pretty confident he was going to be able to ride around there in that damaged car.
Yeah, but that, he's just blowing oil and smoke all around the track. He's going to have to go around one more time because he can't pit. Hopefully that engine doesn't let loose on him. He doesn't want to have to tow, that's for sure.
Well, like we said earlier too, it's definitely not the finished or the sponsor wanted to see there. But those things happen in racing, and I'm sure he's going to get it cleaned up, get back out on the track, and work his way up there to see if he can't fight for position as we see him take the real inside path around the track. So
Yeah, he knows that oil and smoke is really gonna dirty up some windshields, so he's gonna try not to do that. He doesn't want to get anyone a black flag here, as they're all gonna stay in line, but he's gonna come in and hopefully get that quick repair. Let's take a watch. Maybe that car will just bounce into a nice, clean, crisp, brand new car, and he'll be back out on the track. He is currently 2 laps down. Jason Garrett is being listed as the first car 1 lap down. But, you know, with the amount of cautions that we've seen, shouldn't be too hard to get those laps back.
well, moment of truth, and that car pops back to brand new.
Yeah, it still looks a little dirty, but it looks in good shape, so good to see him back out there.
Yeah, I think he's going to be pretty happy about that. And you know, with the cautions that we've seen up to this point, it's not unrealistic for him to find himself back out on the lead lap if he can keep that car clean.
Oh, no, for sure. Mike definitely knows how to get his laps back, so we'll go check on him in a couple laps and see where he's doing. But take a look at the front, man. Who do you see in first place?
I believe it's Nelson, is it not? Oh no, it's Kelvin. Sorry, Nelson was having a good run there. I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm seeing Kelvin being P1 right now.
Yeah, and I'm showing Sean Butler in fourth, Joshua Buckley in third, DJ Anderson in second. These are 4 fast cars, so should be an interesting restart. These guys aren't going to just let anybody go by.
I would absolutely agree that I think the restart is going to be interesting. And lights are off on the pace car as we're getting ready to go green here as they're going through, I believe, the dog leg, aren't they not?
I believe so. So we have
So
2 DPM cars, and we have an insanely fast motorsports car and a hooligans car up here. So 3 different teams, 4 different cars.
yeah, the 951 of DJ Anderson's, we haven't talked about him a lot. You know, DPM has a real good showing, and again, we talked earlier about the time, seat time that those guys were putting in on practice, getting ready for this race. So it's not unexpected to see them up front as the pace car comes off. Green flag.
Sean didn't get a great start there. I don't know if he spun his tires, as Calvin's going to lead going into that turn, but DJ's definitely right on him.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting to see these guys when they take the dog leg and when they don't. I think they definitely try to take it when they think it's going to be advantageous to them. But you know, Calvin's able to stretch it out by about a car length or two there on DJ as he'll go ahead and take the start finish here in P1.
We definitely got some fighting going back in the 9th, 10th through 15th right now. Cars are battling pretty hard for position. We got the 11 of William Long and the 86 of James Skelton working right now for 8th place.
Caution's out.
Looks like I got Jeff File. Let's see if we can take a look here. Looks like the original contact was from the 26. 26 of Dale Albright. Inside, we've got the 59. Oh, I don't. That's a tough one to call there.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look at it myself. I just don't think Dale realized the 59 was there as quickly as he was. I believe that's Bruce Potter in the 59. And, you know, those guys usually run real clean, usually give each other a lot of room. So I just think that was just kind of a fluke, kind of, honestly.
Yeah, looking at it, it doesn't look like those cars really make all that much contact. Let's go ahead and ride on board with the 59 of Bruce Potter.
Yeah, I mean, they were definitely, you know, in the same proximity of each other, trying to take up the same real estate. But I think you're right. I think they just barely touched, got into each other, and then spun out. But
Yeah, just ever so slightly, but that's enough to get Dale loose. And once that car, spins sideways, yeah, that's gonna cause those guys to kind of get into each other. And then the cars behind them, just trying to check up, we had a couple guys spin out as a result. So
looked like 72 of Raymond Edge was also involved in that. Just
yeah, I did see the 4 of rookie Goodman. I mean Ricky Goodman. He was involved in that too.
yeah, collateral damage.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I wanted to just take a moment. I wanted to go back to we were talking about Mike Abbott, we were talking about Brent Rogers. They haven't had a good go of it, but High Rev Motorsports has been here since pretty much the beginning, and we see some 4 car teams. We've seen 3. They're running 2 car teams out there, and for High Rev, and I'm wondering if that isn't playing a factor in them running up front.
Yeah, I could. You're right. High Rev has been around a long time, but I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna. Like, what do you think is the benefit to that team?
Well, I mean, what I'm getting at is I just think that the dynamics are there with these other teams. They're gelling, and I'm not saying that Brent and Mike aren't gelling as a team. I just don't know that they're doing the same things as we're seeing some of these other more successful teams doing, and dedicated practices during the week. I do know that some of them run some other leagues and some other online races and stuff like that to stay up to par. But that's I'm just wondering if there isn't something key that's they're missing out on that some of these 3-4 car teams have been able to find.
Yeah, that's possible. You got the more guys you got, the easier it is to share information, or the more information you can share. So, 2 minds is better than 1, and 4 minds is better than 2. So, you might have a point.
Yeah, and they were a 3. They may even been a 4-car team at one point. I know that Corey Wharton was a team member of theirs. Didn't look like he rejoined High Rev this season, but I wouldn't. It'd be interesting. I think long story short, I think it'd be good to see them take on another driver. I think, and show that they've can hang with these guys up front.
All right, we're gonna go back to green flag here, and there we go. 28, Calvin Allison gets a good start. Is able to clear the 951 right away, get into turn 1 all on his own.
Seeing a little smoke come off the tires there from Calvin getting into one. And Calvin's not alone in that regard. Some of these guys are coming in there pretty hot, whether they're a little hard on the brakes or they're just hard on the tires. We definitely are seeing a little bit of smoke.
Yeah, with the new, they just updated the package and the graphics package yesterday, actually, with iRacing. We see a little bit more dynamic smoke as the 7 and the 919 of Sean Butler get a little bit of contact there, but Sean's able to keep it together as he makes the pass. Yeah, they've added a lot of interesting things over the last update. We got a new animation for our. Ooh, do we have a car spinning?
Yes, we do. The 917. David Howard Jr. involved in that one, I believe. Yeah, he got a little help there from the 998 that sent him up into the 977. So yeah, Scott Kidd, David Howard Jr. into Scott Kidd on that one, but not intentionally. He definitely got help there from Mitch Muma.
Yeah, it looks like the 917 just maybe changed his line a little bit, and the 998 did not see that coming, wasn't able to check it up. It looked like he was going to have space. You know, that is that dogleg turn, coming off that dogleg turn. Yeah, I mean, he might have been expecting the 917 to give him a little bit more room, but he was definitely clear, so the 998 was just not able to get it woed up, and again, just that little contact is going to send a car spinning. You can't have that contact in the corners here. It's just not going to work.
Yeah, David's got some damage on the hood. Doesn't look nearly as bad as what we've seen with Mike Abbott. I think he's going to have the guys work on it a little bit. Looks like he's going to take 4 first, I think. Yeah, he goes ahead and takes 4 tires. And he's going to have him work on it here just for a second. Not very long, though, as he's right back out there. He's still definitely got that damage on that hood, but shouldn't be a factor, I don't think.
So we're turning lap 54 under caution here. We got 4 cars right now not on the track. Daniel Haney did not start this race, so that means 34 drivers started this race, took that first lap. Daniel Haney did not, so that means we only had 34 drivers. And looks like Wow Racing and John Frisching Jr. get the night off with the drive for 35, so they get to keep their $5. Hopefully next week we can get 35 races on the track and we'll be giving away more money.
Always a good thing.
Yeah, I love giving it away. He does too, but yeah, unfortunately we don't get to do that tonight. But next week, Auto Club. Let's take a look at our schedule real quick before we go back to green. Next week we have Auto Club, and I believe that is our last stop in our West Coast swing, and then we're back to Martinsville, which Auto Club will be a lot of fun, and then Martinsville could be a lot of fun. So we'll see how those 2 races go.
Just out of curiosity, can you remind me again why we weren't giving it out, the cash again?
You have to hit 35 racers. 35 racers have to make that first lap, and we only had 34 tonight. So, yeah, no $5 giveaway. It is the drive for 35. We do have to see 35 racers on the track.
Oh, that's that's unfortunate. Looks like Dan Haney didn't.
Yeah, he did not start. He's here. We have 35 drivers. Like he didn't take the green flag. So, unfortunately, we just missed it. Looks like these guys are. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I know Dan raced on Monday, so I was kind of surprised to see him not run tonight. So.
All right, these guys are getting double filed again as we're gonna go back to green. I must say the guys for the most part, I've seen some good restarts up front here. I haven't seen anything really to note. These guys are doing their best to close those gaps. We haven't seen too much accordioning in the back as we take the green here.
And looks like Sean Butler's found his way right back up to the 3rd position, taking over 2nd here from Josh Buckley. Those guys always run good together. Looks like Josh gives them the room.
Yeah, Sean's going to want to get that first place position in the back. These guys are all on different pit schedules.
Yeah, absolutely. And who's running in 4th is Nelson Rivera. It's a good showing there as he's working on Josh Buckley. As we also go to the front and see Sean Butler just take first place there on the outside. Wow.
Yeah, DJ got really, really loose there, and he did keep the car together. It's impressive, but he almost lost it, and Sean was able to capitalize and take that position pretty easily.
Do you have the steering wheel in your in-car, Mike?
Yes, I do.
I'm just real curious because, like, we've talked about it before, and I'm always curious because I never really see, when I look in Sean Butler's car, I never really see that steering wheel go past the A-arm.
Well, let's take a look. We got his, we got the wheel overlay in right now, and you can see he's sitting at about 4%, 5% degrees. Not a lot of turn in that wheel, as we can see here as he enters turn 1, and he makes those hard adjustments to get the cars turned, but then just nice and steady, just a little bit of steering input, and then brings it back up as he exits that turn. But that wheel is almost straight up and down most of the time. Definitely a lot of finesse.
And I think what would be interesting if you just go one car back and take a look at that wheel movement compared to what you see with Sean.
Yeah, watching on board right now with DJ Anderson, you can see watching his actual hands, it's a little bit better of judgment than the overlay, but you can see that, he's a little bit harder to the left. You can see there's a little bit more input, and he's actually chasing the car back to the right a little bit more than Sean was as well. That might be because of tire wear. There's a lot of reasons why that car could be loose, but he's definitely chasing it back up the track. This corner is not so bad. You can see he's in left pretty smooth coming out of the exit. But again, wow, big chase there as the car gets super loose off the throttle. But DJ does a great job keeping that car pointed forward. That's tough to do. It's a lot of talent. You watch these guys do it in real life. It's just as hard to do it here on a sim. Takes a lot of practice.
Yeah, I would agree, but I mean that's the one key trait I've seen around with Sean Butler, that he just does not move that wheel. He's just either got his marks down pat where he doesn't need to, but that last corner Sean went really high in 3, and we see him actually make contact with the wall coming out of 3 there. So nobody's exempt from from finding the wall tonight.
No, it's definitely a slick track right now. It's definitely the temperature's a little bit warmer, so everybody is fighting right now. And the real world, they talked about this, and I kind of have the same philosophy that all these guys are driving the same car, right? And
yeah,
if we make these cars, if we bring the temperatures down and we make it overcast and we bring the track temperature down, the cars become way more comfortable and a lot easier to drive. But we want guys to be rewarded. We want to put the skill in their hands, and I think having these warm temperatures make the cars a little bit harder to drive really does that.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the other things too, we always kind of like to keep an eye out on the biggest mover. Chris Sharp being the biggest mover out on the track right now. Up 18 positions, up to 8th place from where he was at. Let me take that back. He's not the biggest mover, but I think he's the biggest mover in the top 10. Let's put it that way. The biggest mover outside for the whole field is actually Nate LaFleur, up 21 positions.
Yeah, the 24 has been, back and forth for most of the race. I've seen him in top 10 a couple times during restarts, and I've also seen him in the back. I think that just said, a lot of these guys have actually been forward, back, and that's just speaks to the pit strategy and the different cycles that we've got going on the track. Let's take a look at Nate LaFleur. Where's he at right now? Oh, 13th.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nate LaFleur is he's doing pretty well. He's about 7.5 seconds, 8 seconds back from the leader right now. Has got Timothy Lewis in his sights, looking to maybe pick up that 12th place position.
I think it's interesting. I was just looking at Abbott, then I looked right behind him. He's got David Howard Jr. Looks like David Howard actually used a quick repair there. That car looks awfully clean. I don't see any damage on that car.
Yeah, he definitely used it up. That car looks brand new.
And another thing that we always like to keep an eye on, honestly, Mike, is where our rookies are sitting. And currently, we've got five of them, 5 rookies in the top 10. So I wouldn't classify Sean or some of these other guys as rookies, but they do wear that 9 in front of their number, and they're at the top of the field right now. So
yeah, Sean Buckler is definitely not a rookie, but when it comes to his position in the league, he does run that 9 card, and he's probably a lot happier up front than he's been these last couple weeks. So we'll see if he can bring it home as we turn lap 69 right now. DJ Anderson, another one of those, I wouldn't really call him a rookie. He's been very strong the first 3 races of the year, and I know Dustin was talking about picking him for this race. Second place is great there, and Dan Veglin, 5th place. It just speaks to the talent of that rookie class this season. We should I didn't really think about doing this, but we should do a rookie of the year or at least rookie for the round.
Absolutely. One thing I want to point out to you real quick, Mike. The leaders last speed there was a 29,104. The person on the move, Calvin Allison with a 28,960. So Calvin putting in faster lap times than our leader. So look for Calvin to make his way up through the field.
Yeah, right now he's just going underneath the 925 car to secure that fifth place position. But you're right. He's, that last lap, this lap, he has been quicker than the leader as he's moving forward. He has been in the pits a number of times tonight. I've seen him stop, as per my records, 5 times. You got him 12 times?
No, 5 times.
5 times, yeah. And that's one of the most on the track. So.
Well, yeah, and it might play to his favor, though, to be quite honest with you.
Oh, no doubt. Those fresh tires are going to definitely help, especially early in that run. And I know Calvin likes running through the field. Like, he will drop back on purpose just so he can run through the field. As we see right now, second, third, and fourth all really tight together here. Calvin, just about the same as the leader there, but as soon as he catches these 3 cars and he's going to have to negotiate around them, I think that's going to let Sean kind of pull away. But I have us going green at lap 57, so we're approaching a 20-lap run here.
Yeah, very nice. And we got a caution out as you say that.
Never mind.
Tim Lewis is around in the 14 car. Not sure how that happened. Let's see if he's got some help.
Yeah, nobody around him here. Looks like he just gets loose and almost saves it, but not quite. Says hello to that safer barrier on the inside line and gets it locked up and doesn't pull up back on the track. So, yeah,
he blew that engine.
He did blow that engine.
So here's what I think about that, and I have no idea if I'm right, but he had company. He had Nate LaFleur coming. He had cars coming behind him. And we talked about that before, but, we talked about hitting your marks and all that good stuff. But here's the thing. When you're hitting your marks and you're by yourself, it's easy. When you got somebody breathing down your neck, you just overdrive the car.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Not intentionally. Well, actually, it probably is. But I mean, you don't think it is, but you are. You're trying to stay out front. You're trying to stay and keep that position. And that's what I think happened there. I think he just was a victim of his own circumstance.
A good race off pit road there. Sean looks like he won the race off the pit road as all these guys are coming out 2 by 2. Like seeing that. No collisions on pit road. It's a really weird pit road here where we're pitting through the corner and then we got that outside wall, so there's no getting away from people. If you have to go high, you're going high into that wall.
Yeah, this is a big toe here for Tim Lewis too. He's still sitting in there.
So we're 3 laps away from halfway. I'm pretty happy with that last run. I think we're going to see a couple of decent runs here as basically everybody came in, I think, to get fresh tires, as I have Sean Butler in first place right now.
I think if my statistics are right here, it looks like Mike Abbott actually had the best pit stop out of the top 10. He had a pit stop of 13.3 seconds, where everybody else was just a little bit over the 14 mark. He's got to be happy that the crew was able to get the car serviced and back out on the road that quick.
Yeah, I never could figure out what makes a quick stop in iRacing, but you're definitely happy when you do get one.
Yeah, I know, and it seems kind of sporadic, but yeah, you're right. I mean, you'll go in 1 minute, you're like, all right, I got a 12, I got a 13-second pit stop. Next thing you go in, it's 14, and you're like, what just happened?
Let's take a look at the standings as they run on the track right now. We've got Calvin Allison sitting first place in the standings with 2 wins. DJ Anderson second place. Sean Butler is moving around here as these cars are just getting sorted out. David Howard is now up to third. Did Sean Butler Oh, I guess the guys are coming back onto the track. So fourth place, Jason Wells. Fifth place, Sean Butler. Keith Haney, James Skelton, John Furshing, Joshua Buckler, and Chris Sharp rounding out the top 10. But Calvin, he's got himself locked in with those 2 wins.
So I'm just again going back and taking a look at the previous statistics from last year from our Pro Series, and again, this was a night race. I don't believe Auto Club is going to be a night race, but you want to take any shot or take a guess at who was the race winner?
Oh, last week or last year?
Last year, December 16th, 2015.
Mike Abbott.
Calvin Allison.
As the cars go back green, we've got Sean Butler running inside. DJ Anderson giving him a real hard challenge on the outside there. Going to use every inch of that track. Sean's going to drop down, take advantage of the dog leg. Calvin, oh man, Calvin into the wall. Single car incident.
Just drove it too hard trying to get up there. It still got the motor in it. Well, that's good to see. He's definitely got some significant damage here. He's got his work cut out for him now.
I assume he still has a quick repair, but man, we don't see that from Calvin very often. And